Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is Brendan, and here we teach that what you are thinking feelingly and imagining throughout your day is creating your physical experience. Now, in the last video I posted, I talked about how the more you enjoy yourself in this present moment, the better everything is going to be, right? And that's because, as Neville Goddard said, feeling is the secret. So if in this present moment, which is all there is, there's only right now, the past and the future are only imagined. So in this present moment, the all-powerful, all-important now, you can feel enjoyment, you can feel peace, you can feel relaxation. The better everything is going to be, all right? Now, this is a point, it seems subtle, but if now is all there is and you feel good now, then everything is getting better because now is everything. All right, and it may sound weird, it sounds almost stupid if you really don't know what we're talking about spiritually here, but it is a point that cannot be exaggerated. All of your potential, which is infinite, exists right here, right now, okay? That's why you can, in this present moment, go into the power of the imagination, right, which is truly yourself, and reimagine a past event so that you can live more comfortably in the now. You can also imagine a future event, selecting from the infinite possibilities what you would like to occur. And then you can relax in the now instead of worrying, fearing, doubting, being impatient about what's going to come. So for that reason, to help you understand how you can really enjoy yourself now, especially when 3D is going against you or seems to go against you, right? As we know, everything is always happening to fulfill our desires. Everything is always working out for you. No matter what appears to be, everything is happening to form that bridge of incidents, all right? The series of events leading to the fulfillment of your desire, no matter what it looks like. So if you struggle with 3D, if you struggle, maybe the person that you're manifesting is ghosting you instead of responding to you as you desire. Maybe you have money that you're manifesting and the bill date is getting closer and closer. No matter what you're manifesting, you want to be able to know that you are more powerful than this shadow world, all right? 3D is dead. This world is a graveyard. That's how Neville Goddard described it. And that's how his teacher Abdullah described it. He said that as Neville was identifying himself with limitations of the flesh, thinking he was being so good for being vegetarian and practicing celibacy and doing all of these things for 7 years that Neville did, Abdullah told him he was doing it to be good for nothing, okay? Neville thought he was being good for God, some sort of outside God that was judging you for your each and every action. But Abdullah, knowing that God is within you, as you, creating your reality according to your beliefs, recognized and called him out on it, saying that he was being good for nothing. So allow yourself to recognize this entire world is happening according to your belief. Okay, so this is how I want to help you get past any and all limitations based on what is appearing to happen outside of you that may seem to be out of alignment with the fulfillment of your desire. So it is this one question, and it actually came to me in meditation, and it is, so what? So what? You could have anything happen, all right? So let's go back to the example. The bill date is getting closer and closer, and yet you don't have the money to pay it. So what? Now, the logical, rational, reasoning mind that is identified with the physical world may say, well, if I don't make the payment, this will happen, or that will happen, and maybe something will be taken away, or there's some other physical consequence. But to the spiritual man, the inner being, okay, that is your true self, the being of imagination, all right? And when I say man, it's not really gender, it's just like humanity, okay? It's not about gender, man, woman, but the spiritual being within you, all right? That is the reality. So instead, answer the question, so what? All right? Whatever's happening, that date is getting closer. So what? So it is done. So what? So it is done. That's it. Don't allow your mind to run off having all this worry, having all this fear, having all this doubt and impatience based on what you see physically, okay? This is only a reflection. It is a time-delayed shadow, all right, of your former beliefs, of your former concept of self, all right? Your self-concept is everything that you believe to be true about yourself, about the world, all right? And it's honestly the core of these teachings, because if you don't believe that you are truly one with God, right? There is no outside God. There is no source that's outside and you have to pray to it and get on your knees. No, you are not a slave, all right? And you don't have to beg for anything. You ask in the only way that is the right way to ask for what you desire, all right? When ye pray, pray believing ye have received. Past tense, all right? Received, and ye shall have it. So, when you look at the physical circumstances that appear to be going against the fulfillment of your desire, ask yourself, so what? And answer the question, so it is done. Past tense, it is already done. So that means you can relax if you would feel relaxed. It means you can feel relief if you would feel relieved. But to persist in feeling that worry, doubt, fear, or impatience is to not truly have received. Okay? So you must really know within yourself that you are not separate from the infinite power. A lot of people will do this. They'll imagine for 10 minutes, and then the next 15 hours and 50 minutes that they're awake throughout the day, they are wondering if they did it right. They're wondering if God heard them, if the subconscious is impressed. All these questions as though it's separate from you. There is nothing separate from you. There is only oneness in this world. So recognize that you don't have to try and go out of your way or repeat affirmations 10,000 times or do any of this stuff that is all effort and makes you worry and fearful and doubtful. So what? So it is done. No matter what is happening, you can always look at the situation. Oh, they're not answering the text. So what? So it is done. Go about your business. All right? Whatever it is that you want. Maybe you want a certain job or a certain level of income. So what? So it is done. So what will you do now? Now that you already have it. And maybe if it's a higher income, you're saying, well, if I had that, I would be purchasing this and purchasing that and maybe going shopping. Okay, then use your imagination to do those things and get into the feeling, get excited, get joyful. Nothing can limit you when you're one with imagination. Imagination is not just some plaything to make you feel good in the moment and then nothing changes. Imagination creates reality, okay? So it's not that you're doing the imagining and just trying to soothe yourself. In one way, yes, that is the effect. It does soothe you. But as you are soothed, as you become relaxed, as you become relieved, as you become excited or joyful, whatever you would feel if your desire were already fulfilled right here, right now, then you are calling that into existence. But when you waver, when you go back and forth, when you let the appearances of the world, which is only a time-dilated reflection of your former concept of self, change how you feel, then you are delaying the inevitable. Because your fulfillment is inevitable. You've set the intention. You don't have to repeat it within yourself a million times. You don't have to write it down 10,000 times. You don't have to do all these things that are so much effort and so much work, okay? Take the path of least resistance. That is the way to attain your desire, because if you're using force out of fear, in some way you will get the opposite result. And that happens to many people because we are so entrenched in this physical world, so programmed to believe in the world of the senses that we can't let go of the fear. In the past, I've had a lot of issues, like my one thing about manifestation that I couldn't do. Okay, many people who do this can manifest for other people, they can manifest, love, but they can't manifest one thing. Okay, so for me, that one thing was abundance. All right, it was physical wealth. I had a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of negative feelings and programming about it. And so I really had to jump in and break down those fears. So the real fear of becoming homeless, the fear of needing to ask people for help, the fear of being judged for how much I make, these things, okay, and they're existing in the mind. And if you don't look directly at them, if you try and just ignore them or resist them, they're going to keep coming up in physical experience. And this could be true about any type of belief, anything that you're struggling to manifest. It could be love for you, it could be the job, it could be the car, the home. But you have to recognize that unless you handle these fears, you're not going to be able to get where you want to go, because they don't just go away. All right, unless you can overpower them with a stronger feeling that you believe more in. But if those fears have been in there for a long time, then you have to look at them head on and recognize that at this point in time, those fears are only imagined. Those fears are equally as real as what you desire to be manifested. But instead, for some reason, you're choosing to believe much more in the fears than what you desire to be true. And that was true in my case as well. That's why I was living, and maybe I would spend some time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, imagining abundance. And then for the rest of the waking hours of the day, which is much more than 5 to 10 minutes, I'd be worrying about money or thinking that I needed to affirm 10,000 times, right? Saying the Dr. Robert Millikan affirmation that Neville Goddard shared. I have a lavish, steady, dependable income consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. And yet it could not come true because I was just saying words, all the while still feeling that fear, that doubt, that worry, that impatience. And so, because those were the dominating beliefs in my mind, that was the dominant programming, when something in this worldly experience, this physical shadow world of death, would happen out of alignment, or the date of needing to pay bills was coming closer and I didn't see any movement, I was living in fear. I was living in worry. And therefore, I was manifesting more of that. Because what you feel now is how your life is going to be. So instead, be able to recognize that those fears are nothing. They are purely imaginary. And while imagining creates reality, you have the freedom to choose what you will imagine. Okay? So be willing to give up worry. Be willing to give up fear, doubt, impatience. These thoughts that crop up along the way, along the bridge of incidents. Because they're only delaying the inevitable. Okay? So handle those root fears. Discover what they are for yourself. Don't be afraid to look at them. Understand that they come from probably your parents, probably people around you, the world around you. Maybe the news made you feel certain ways. You have to allow yourself to transcend these because they're only suggestions. So what are you going to suggest to yourself? What the world is telling you or what you want to be true? And either way, that's what your reality will be. So I recommend that you choose for yourself. All right? You don't want to live in a world of fear, doubt, worry, shame, guilt. These negative feelings, these negative emotions. Because it's an option. All things exist within you, positive or negative as we call them. But you decide. So look at any given situation. If I had known back then how much time I was devoting to feeling worry and fear and reacting to physical circumstances, if I could have seen that and recognized it within myself, then things would have changed much sooner. However, I am thankful to Richard Dott's, the book Money Flows to Me Easily, and also the book Banned Money Secrets of the Hidden Rich. Wonderful books by Richard Dott's which outline clearly not only the limiting actions and beliefs that keep us in poverty, but you could apply these principles to anything. And it really came down to enjoying yourself in the present moment. What can you do to relax here and now and to choose and prioritize relaxation? So let this question and answer in any instance, in any circumstance. So when it seems that something in your physical experience is going and happening out of alignment with your desire fulfilled, so what? So it is done. So you can relax. You can be relieved. You can feel excited or joyful. But relaxation is probably the easiest and the one that requires the least effort. So allow yourself to prioritize that and know that when you answer that question, so what, with so it is done, when you really feel and accept that, it's not just you saying it. It is God saying it. It is the subconscious, infinite intelligence source, the universe, all the energy, all the power, all that exists is saying it with you because it is not separate from you. So it's up to you. How do you want God to act? And you demonstrate how you want God to act by how you act and by how you feel. Okay, so are you going to react to these physical circumstances, this world of appearances? Or are you going to remain faithful to the unseen reality? That which you have imagined, that which you set the intention for, and that will inevitably manifest. Because it's going to happen much quicker, the quicker you're willing to let go of your attachment to the world of the senses. Okay? The less you care, the easier it manifests. If you can forget about it, it will manifest. These are tricks that really, really help because to forget is to get for. Okay? So to forget your lack is to get for your lack. All right? If you forget about it, you're not worried about it, you're not fearful about it, you're not doubtful about it, you're not impatient about it, then you have it. Neville Goddard said, the power of every imaginal act is in its implication. So when you're relaxed, that is an imaginal act, and its implication is something happened. Your desire was fulfilled, and you are able to relax. Okay? And so that's why you don't have to spend all this time imagining the same thing over and over, whether it's visualization, affirmation, scripting. God is one with you and therefore knows exactly what you want, and even knows exactly how to give it to you better than you could possibly imagine. But the only thing that's going to stop that is if you continue to react to the 3D instead of respond. You have to break up that programming. You have to break that subconscious loop, all right? Because the more you repeat the cycle of negatively reacting to the world of appearances, you are doing more programming. And that doesn't mean things have to get harder, but it means they're not going to change until you change. So no matter the situation, no matter what it looks like, ask yourself, so what? So it is done. And God says it is done, all right? You have received the fulfillment of your desire. Sometimes if you need to, this is help for me, you just sit down, recognize what is it I am desiring. Okay, maybe you desire a relationship, you desire physical changes, you desire whatever it is. It is done. You have it. You have it. You have it. You have it. What? You have it. You have it. Right now, you have it. Okay? And you do that, your mind may be in shock at first because it's such a wild idea that you could have more than what the physical world is currently showing you. But that's how it works. That's how this whole thing works. And if you don't really believe that, then you're going to struggle to manifest. But if you can actually allow yourself to not just suggest, but to accept that you already have fully, entirely, completely, absolutely, whatever it is that you desire right here, right now, then you will manifest it. You will manifest it. Just remain loyal to that. Anytime the mind has these thoughts that are out of alignment, wondering how or if or when, feeling fearful, doubtful, worrisome, impatient, meet it with that, so what? So it is done. It is done, okay? And as you say that, it is so. And it may not be the easiest thing in the world. The world of appearances is all we've known for so long. And now maybe you're new to this, or you've even done it for years. But the chances are, for the beginning of your life, for the majority of your life, you haven't been aware that you're creating it all. So it's not the easiest thing in the world, but it is simple. It is simple, and it takes trust. Okay, but the good news is you're not trusting in anything on the outside. You're not trusting in anything, wondering if it knows truly what you want. It is yourself, so you're trusting yourself. Allow yourself to trust yourself, and it will be done. So I'm sure you found this helpful. If you're interested, you can check out my Stand store in the description or in the pinned comment. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you next time. Take care.